Hi, I'd just quickly like to respond to Decompose's Watchmen 101. I don't think anywhere near the necessary depth and respect was given in this review. I think a hugely intense and multifaceted work of literature such as Watchmen should only be treated with the utmost respect and reverberation. And to try and summarise what goes on in it is not a very good idea. I understand that a lot of Decompose's subscribers will have only heard of Watchmen since the trailer came out before The Dark Knight. Others will have only seen it on YouTube, and others again will have just seen this lying around bookshops recently and been wondering why it's selling like hotcakes. But to give a kind of simple, immature explanation to why Watchmen's great, basing it around it's set in the real world and the characters are flawed, is not very wise at all. One of the great rules of drama, Aristotle said, is that is a flaw in a character, and not only in superheroes, but people who've been doing this for thousands and thousands of years. It's what draws people towards characters. You got great ones like Macbeth and Hamlet, who are incredibly flawed characters, and that's why people are drawn towards them. You've also got ones like Batman and Wolverine, flawed characters. That's why people are drawn towards them. Also saying that it's set in the world as we know it. Well, Spider-Man is supposed to be set in the world as we know it. In the early 60s, Steve Ditko and Stan Lee decided that it's going to be this kid from Forest Hills. He's going to be a teenager with teenage problems. He's going to have to look after his Aunt May. He's going to have to go to school, and he's going to have to be a superhero. That is someone in the real world, and, he's got his flaws. The thing is, this is so deep and multifaceted, I cannot begin to get into the majority of things now. What I would suggest, if you're anywhere near interested in the depth of Watchmen, is that you visit watchmencomicmovie.com and go on the forum. That's watchmencomicmovie.com. I'll put the link there. I'm on there. I've been on there for about 10 months, and there's constantly intelligent people with intelligent input, new ideas, new things that they've noticed, and we work together as a collective to deconstruct this incredibly complex piece of literature. Don't get me wrong, this is still a comic book, and if you want to read it simply as a superhero story, you can. But it's so much more than that, and I would recommend that you look on such a deeper level. There's the amount of questions that this kind of a book brings up is astounding. The big one being, if you were transformed into Superman, you were transformed into a god. At the very start of the Watchmen trailer, you see John Osterman torn apart, and he becomes the blue guy, Dr. Manhattan. And he has the power to do basically anything he wants. And over the 25 years up to the point where the present day Watchmen is taking place, he gradually becomes disillusioned and basically loses all emotional and almost physical contact with humanity and planet Earth. And that's a great question. If Superman had no invested interest in humanity anymore, wouldn't he just up and leave? Probably. The other question is, are there any actual true heroes in Watchmen? And that's another great question. The amount of detail and time and the incredible facets of this book, it's quite mind-boggling. Alan Moore and Dave Gibbons basically produced the greatest comic book that has ever been written and probably ever will be written. Through symbolism, the most famous one being the smiley face pin with the human bean juice or the blood stain on it, which also symbolises the doomsday clock, which is ticking towards the end of the world. The characterization, the dynamic between characters is constantly changing. Each character is different. It's very realistic, as is the dialogue. All characters and dialogue are insanely 100% relevant. What may seem as a kind of bystander or a meaningless character who has a couple of lines never is. When I first read it, I thought the two Bernies, the two guys at the newsstand, were basically pointless filler characters, and they are anything but. One of the smallest characters in it, Captain Metropolis, there's been a recent essay on the internet saying that he is actually the flagstone of the entire Watchmen novel, and everything would fall apart if it wasn't for him. There's an incredible theme, aside from the symbolism, there's an incredible theme of symmetry, which they are, again, as well as the symbolism, trying to thread through to the film, and it's all incredibly interesting. See, I am basically scratching the surface now, and this is the kind of depth that a piece of work like this deserves. Anything less is semi-insulting to those who helped make it, and those who hold it close to their own hearts, such as myself. Just in a quick reply to a couple of comments that were below. The Black Freighter, the comic inside the comic book, like the play inside the play in Hamlet, is going to be released along with Under the Hood, the autobiography of Night Owl 1. They're going to be released 5 days later on 5 days after the movie is released on DVD. They are going to be released 5 days after the movie is released in theatres on DVD, so you can watch them in accompaniment after you've seen the actual film in the theatres. And it's going to be 3 hours long, not 2.5 hours long. It is going to be 3 hours long. Everyone's signing a petition. It is going to be 3 hours long. So come and check out the Watchmen comic forum if you're anyway interested in the kind of depth I'm just basically slightly tapping into here. You'll be amazed if you have read the novel, the amount of things you will have missed out on, and we all missed out on them. There's no kind of shaming or hazing that goes on this forum. Everyone's a newbie at one point, and we're all there to help each other, to broaden our knowledges of Watchmen, because it is a passion of all of ours. There are people on there 10 times more into it than me, and I am honestly scratching the surface. And I think respect and reverberation are the only two things necessary when talking about this, because it is one of the greatest works of English literature that there ever will be, in my opinion. And it is undoubtedly the greatest comic ever written. I review comics on a weekly basis. This week it's going to be mostly Secret Invasion stuff, because a lot of that's coming out. If you want to check me out, I try not to be this uber stuck up and intellectual when I do my comic reviews, but I do try and be a bit more intellectual than, oh, look at me, this is a comic, I bought this, it was rather good, I suggest you buy it. I kind of give you a little bit more depth than that. Nowhere near the depth of this, but a little bit more. So if you want to see more of that, click on my thing or subscribe to me. If you want to write me a comic, if you want to write me a comic, if you want to write me a comment, leave a message below, and I will promise I will get back to you. Thanks for watching. WatchmenComicMovie.com forum. Subscribe, watch my videos. Thank you. Bye. Oh, I don't want to say sorry to Decompose. I don't mean any disrespect. It's just I'm very passionate about this, and I think trying to, sum up Watchmen in layman's terms is a pointless task. And I understand your video was requested by many of your subscribers, and I understand there's a limit to what you can do, but there's no use trying to do something like that. They should all go out and buy the graphic novel, and I'm sure you agree with me on that. Everyone should own this, and everyone should read this before they go and see the movie. Thanks for watching.